Hi, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your September 2022 general readings. We're looking at the first half of September from the 1st through the 15th, and this reading is for the fire sign of Sagittarius. Welcome everyone. Hope you're all doing well. Thanks for taking the time to be here and watch any of the videos on this YouTube channel. For those of you who hit that like, share, and subscribe button, those of you who reach out for personal readings, those of you who send feedback and comments, all of it is always appreciated. Thank you. So Sagittarius, this is for you for the first half of September 2022. If your sun, moon, rising, or Venus is in Sagittarius, it's also relevant if you're cross-watching for a Sagittarian. It's a general reading, so as most of you know, it's always going to resonate a little differently for everyone. If you know any of your other signs, sun, moon, rising, and Venus, watch them for any additional insight and perspective into your situation. And if you find that something does resonate with you, the reading resonates with you, you relate to it, you'd like to take a deeper look, perhaps reach out for a personal reading for yourself or as a gift for someone else, feel free to email me directly at maggie1mcguire@gmail.com. You can also get that contact info by clicking on the description link with this video. I'd be delighted to hear from you, and I can usually respond the same day with more information. I do offer quite a wide variety of readings in all areas of life. And I do readings full time. It's all that I do. So I'm pretty diligent at trying to schedule people in as timely a fashion as possible. So if that's something you're interested in, email me. Okay, Sagittarius, let's see what the first half of September looks like for you. I am using the Tarot of Dreams, clarifying with one of the Gilded Tarots. Okay, Sagittarius. We begin with the Knight of Coins. Knights usually represent offers and opportunities for change, the speed at which situations move, or the amount of effort we're putting into something. The Knight of Coins is the Knight of Earth. It might be an offer or opportunity for something solid like work, career, job offer. It can also just represent, the Knight of Coins is a little slower than his brother Knight, but he's solid and steady. He always accomplishes his mission. This is a hard-working individual. Or if it's an offer or opportunity, it's one that will likely get you to the finish line. But again, there's a fair amount that goes into it. I don't know why I'm feeling that particularly, but I am. That's why. The Nine of Wands. So the Nine of Wands represents somebody who's close to the end of maybe quite a difficult cycle or something that's turned out to be quite burdensome. Tends represent cycle endings in the tarot, or a cycle coming full circle, like, the end or a full achievement of something. So the Nine of Wands represents being close to the end, but you're feeling discouraged, tired, worn out. You've been through quite a bit already. I feel like somebody's just tired with the level of work and effort they've been putting into to try to get something, maintain something. Because the thing is, knights have a mission, right? When you think about the role of knights in the medieval world, they have a mission, a quest, something, they have an objective, right? And it's all about achieving that objective and then going on to a new one. Here, it's like you're putting in a lot of effort into something. Not sure what that something is. It could be a job, work, project, relationship. And it just doesn't feel like it's the energy here that I'm getting, Sagittarius. I feel like sighing because I kind of feel this. It feels like, you're putting all this effort in, you're working, you're running. But when you take a look around, the scenery hasn't changed. You're still in the same place. You're just exhausted, right? That's kind of what it feels like. Okay. Next we have the Ten of Wands, the Ten of Fire. The Two of Wands, the Two of Fire. So twos usually represent a crossroads, a choice, needing to make a decision. Because it's the Two of Wands, the Two of Fire, that's an action-oriented element, so it's likely make a decision to act in one way or another. With the Chariot. The Chariot represents success on a very difficult, challenging path. The only way to achieve it is perseverance, determination, but it takes a lot. it feels here like somebody's trying to make a choice or a decision on whether or not to continue investing in something. Investing all the time, work, effort, money, whatever. Here's the Ten of Wands. This is where you're really at the end of your rope. This is a card of feeling at the end, overwhelmed. While it may have started out to be something that you thought it was going to turn out to be something else, this is a card of somebody who has been through, it's too much, it's too heavy. They're at an end. It needs to be at an end. This burden needs to be laid down. With another Knight, the Knight of Cups. This is the Knight of water, the Knight of emotion, because water is the element which governs the suit of cups, and that governs our emotional atmosphere. The Knight of Cups is typically an offer or opportunity that's driven by love, support, encouragement. Yeah, we'll definitely be clarifying some of this. From the bottom of the deck, the overall energy and focus is the Seven of Wands. So somebody doesn't want to give up here, because the Seven of Wands represents somebody who's defending, protecting, standing up for something they believe in or something they've invested a lot in. Okay, let's clarify. Let's clarify that overall energy of the Seven of Wands. It's like somebody doesn't want to give up here, but somebody's also feeling overwhelmed, tired, exhausted, wondering if they're just pouring water into a glass with no bottom, right? It's never enough, and you can never, be nourished from it. Clarify Seven of Wands. Nine of Swords, stress, anxiety, worry, fear of an unknown future, dwelling obsessively on that unknown future, and usually with the worst possible outcome. Too much stress, anxiety, worry. Ooh, the Wheel of Fortune and Death, major changes. Someone's resisting something here. Because both Death and the Wheel of Fortune we have no control over. These are major changes we have no control over, other than choosing how we're going to deal with them. So there's some kind of major ending, transformation, some major change is happening, coming up, it's happening, and someone is resisting. They're resisting the change, whether it's in the situation, the relationship, another person, or something is changing, but there's a sense of resistance, of somebody not liking the change, not wanting to let go, or not wanting to change themselves. Let's continue, because they're afraid of what's going to happen after that. If I make the decision to end something and move on, what happens after that? So there's like this push and pull struggle here with, I'm tired, I'm worn out, I'm exhausted. It feels like I'm putting all this time, work, effort into a job, into a relationship, into something. And I started out with thinking it was going to evolve into this thing. It's not. Maybe it's time for me to take a look at giving up, walking away, so that I can open myself up to, down the road, something that is more fulfilling for me, that is more in alignment with me. But yet, on the other hand, there's all this investment that's already gone in here, so it's difficult to let go. And that's this push and pull and resistance. Let's clarify that Knight of Coins, that slower moving but hard-working knight. Seven of Coins. There's all this reflective energy here, like thinking. The Seven of Coins is like the Seven of Wands, somebody who's invested a lot into growing something, right? They're stuck at a 7. Is there any other changes I can make to get it to a 10? is there, which would be the 10 of coins, which is long-term security and stability, not having to worry about the future, right? And here somebody's looking at what they have to show for their work and going, okay, do I quit? Do I take what I can and go? Is there anything else I can do here? The Chariot again, and the 10 of Wands again. Wow, somebody is really, really, Sagittarius, feeling just tired with the level of work and effort they've been putting into something, comparing it to what they've gotten back, and it's not even, and it's like, what do I do about this? Is it just time to cut my losses and go? Clarifying 9 of Wands. Feeling discouraged, feeling like giving up. I will point out one thing. Something is changing. Something is metamorphosing here with the Death and the Wheel of Fortune. But while changes can be scary and they're not always wanted by us, they come in, the ones that come in, driven by God, Spirit, angels, and guides, are for our own greater good and our fulfillment on the other side of it. But it's difficult to see from this standpoint. It's kind of like you go through something, some major loss or ending of something that you didn't really want or wasn't really expecting, and it can be quite challenging, like the Tower card, right? Death, the Wheel. You have a choice in how you deal with it, and then some time passes and you end up looking back and going, in retrospect, that was the best thing that ever happened to me. But before you're on the other side and have some kind of hindsight, before it's in the rearview mirror for a bit, it can be very difficult, and there is a lot of resistance here. 9 of Wands. The Knight of Coins again, lots of repeating, validating cards. The 4 of Coins, the 6 of Coins. This is like penny pinching energy. The other side, and I say the other side because it might be a job, a friendship, a love romance relationship. It's not entirely clear here. And it's a general reading, so it's going to mean different things. But, the 4 of Coins is the Miser card. It represents somebody who withholds. They don't want to give out. They're afraid of losing or losing again. The 6 of Coins is giving and receiving, but it's sometimes a breadcrumb card because it represents somebody who could give more, but they're not. They'll give when they want to, as they want to, according to their own conveniences, not yours. And that's where this feeling of exhaustion is coming in. It's an uneven relationship, whether that relationship is romantic or friendship, or it's a relationship that you have with your job, your work, your project, something that you've been pouring a lot into, but what you have to show for it isn't reflected in the effort, right? The end does not justify the means here. The other side of this situation or relationship takes what you have to give, but only gives back, but doesn't give back anything measurable by that. So 2 of Wands, decision, the Chariot. Let's clarify that Chariot. The Tower. But here the Tower follows, I think, a choice as well, because this is clarifying the 2 of Wands, which is being at that crossroads and trying to figure out how you're going to deal with something. For some of you, it might be that this Tower card has already happened or it's already happening and trying to figure out how to move through it. But I think for the majority of you, this is 2 of Cups and 7 of Wands, holding on to a relationship or not. There's a decision here as to whether to let something go. But it would be a very difficult thing to let go of, represented by the Tower. So again, there's this struggle. I want to hold on, but if it's never going to end up being what I want it to be, what I've been working for, then I should let it go, because what I really want to need, what is in alignment for me, is still out there if this is not it. There is a relationship central here, or some kind of union, and it's karmic, meaning that this experience is meant for you to grow and to learn and to gain wisdom and knowledge through the lessons you learn, if you choose to do that. And those things are what you take with you for the rest of your life. That's what the karmic, energy of the Two of Cups is, whether it's, because typically the Two of Cups is the soulmate card. It represents what you see as a really great union, or there's a karmic connection. It might be romantic, it might be a friendship, it might be like the job that you thought was the perfect job for you. Again, there's this sense of wanting to hold on to it because you've already invested so much into it. But yet if it's not really going anywhere and you've done everything that you can, is it really worth holding on to? Because it means that what you really need and want is still out there. It reminds me of a saying, don't spend a lot of time staying in a mistake just because it took you a long time to make the mistake, right? Free will, free agency, but somebody is really worn out here and considering walking away. There's two things that are a struggle in that walking away, and one is the level of effort you've already invested in it, and two, it's fear of an unknown future if you do let go of it. Clarify Knight of Cups. Five of Coins, the beggar card, feeling like you have to constantly beg for what you need, whether it's money, finances, in a job, in a workplace, or in a relationship, feeling like you have to beg for every crumb you get. And that's clarifying the Knight of Cups, which is supposed to be a love-driven offer. It feels here like you're working and working and working. For example, for some of you, this is going to be a romantic relationship or even a really close friendship. And you're doing all the things. You're putting in all the effort. You're wanting them to offer that same level back, but you keep finding yourself over and over again in this sort of beggar position. Again, it could be a relationship between two people of some nature, or it could be the relationship you have with your job or a project of some kind. Strength in the world. Yeah, this is facing your fears, your doubts, your insecurities, and taking a look at the very real possibility that it might be time for a final ending and time to move on to a new horizon with different options and opportunities for you. There's change occurring and coming. I mean, whether you want it or not, the Wheel of Fortune and Death is kind of over this. Resistant or no. But I understand the resistance. I think most of us, if not all of us, have gone through at least one situation in our life like this at one point in time where we're like, yeah, I've invested so much time and effort and all of that, but it just isn't going anywhere. So, I need to make the decision to walk away from this. But there is a time where you're kind of resistant with that. And I get it, right? All right, so... But what's on the other side of the change and the transformation is always better. It's just that often we can't see it until we're on the other side of the leaving process, right? But there's free will and free agency too in how you choose to deal with something. Although I think with Death and the Wheel of Fortune kind of ruling this, the choices you're going to have is how you deal with the change, not whether the change occurs or not, because it is. So let's take a look at what Spirit advises you to do here. I feel like for a lot of you, this represents a set of chapters in your life that has been really significant. And you've probably gained a great deal of knowledge and wisdom, both about yourself and the other side and other things, but that it's gone as far as it can go. So if you choose to stay, it's going to be staying with the way that it is. But I don't think so, because change is occurring here. So let's see what Spirit advises. The Ace of Swords. This is seeing the truth. This is illumination. This is the truth being revealed, seeing it for the reality of what something is. The Ace of Swords is often looked at as a success card, success that comes from truth and illumination. Sometimes that truth, seeing it, can be challenging, because if if the reality that you're seeing it in, it's like seeing it for what it really is. And maybe what it really is you don't like it, right? But that seeing that truth, you have the option to make choices and decisions to create a healthier reality for yourself. And that can be what the Ace of Swords represents as well. Because this is advice. See the truth. Open your eyes. See the reality of what this is. Not what you hoped it would be, not what you wished it for, not what you're trying to convince yourself it might turn into, but what it actually is, so that you can make better decisions moving forward. The Empress. See yourself this way. Beautiful or handsome, depending on where you're coming from, right? This is somebody who is abundant and beautiful and is surrounded by the best of things. It's about fertility and giving birth to new things and being in the fullness of a full harvest, right? If this, if for some of you that this might relate as a relationship, or like a romantic relationship reading, this is, you're in a situation where you're not being viewed or treated like the Empress, and you deserve to be, and it's time for you to kind of wake up to that. And then the Ten of Swords, which is surrendering to a painful ending, difficult, but again, what's on the other side of that is rebirth. And when you look at it in a logical way too, even though you may have thought in the beginning it's going to turn out this way, you've been working all of this, putting all of this effort into it, when you realize that it's not going to have the ultimate manifestation that you want it to, that means that even though you may have thought this was the thing for you, what's more in alignment for you is still out there. And as long as you choose to stay in this, you're never going to have that. So Spirit here is saying it is time to move on from this situation. Again, free will, free agency, but again, I think with the Wheel and the Wheel of Fortune and Death kind of crowning this, I think the choices that you need to make are, do you speed this up, and how do you move through this? Because Spirit is saying this chapter, this set of chapters, this big mountain that you've been climbing, you're done. It's time to move on to something more in alignment with who you are. Okay, Sagittarius, those are your messages for the first half of September. I hope they were useful. I hope they gave you some clarity, some food for thought, or validated what you're already going through or thinking about. Again, if this is something that you relate to, that resonates with you, and you'd like to maybe peel it back a bit, take a deeper look, and reach out for a personal reading, feel free to email me directly at maggie1mcguire@gmail.com. You can also get that contact info by clicking on the description link with this video. I will see you all in a couple of weeks for the September mid-month readings. Until then, stay well, stay safe, and I hope to see you back here again soon. Bye-bye.